Hey there, it's Victoria McCooey. I'm here with another session of Manic Monday. So I'm just going to give this a second and wait for a few people to pop in. As you know, I go live on my Facebook page here every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern with some advice for all of you out there co-parenting with a narcissistic ex. And believe me, there are a lot of us, right? I did it. My kids are grown now, but there are a ton of you going through it, and my purpose is to help you get through it and not make some of the mistakes I made. I'm now a divorce coach, so I help people who are struggling to get out of a toxic marriage or to get through a difficult divorce. So that's my job, and it is like living my best life. I get to help all of you who are in a place where I was. And after lots and lots of training, I have some really great advice along with practical experience to help you get through this too. So every week I ask for my community to come to me with their issues around co-parenting. So before we get started, if you're watching this live with me, would you please type into the comments #live? And if you're watching on a replay, would you please type into the comments #replay? Thank you so much for doing that. All right, so I put it out there to my community every week, and oh my gosh, I got more responses this week than ever, maybe because the holidays are right behind us and things can get a little hairy, but I'm going to pick two. The first one is someone emailed me, and you can always email me for privacy. I'll never say your name. That way it doesn't pop up on social media. So the first one is from someone who emailed me with this. It says, to stay in compliance with the legal agreement, my ex and his girlfriend have the girlfriend's daughter, who's in kindergarten, speak poorly of me to my biological children on their custody weekends. They encourage the little girl to say things like, my mom and your dad say your mom is crazy, dangerous, etc. All right, ouch. So it sounds to me like there is some sort of stipulation in their agreement that says they cannot disparage, he and the girlfriend cannot disparage the mother to the child. So in order to get around that, they're coaching the girlfriend's child to say disparaging things. This is a form of parent alienation, and the courts take this very seriously. So, you know, there are a few ways around to deal with this. It's a really serious problem. You know, you don't want your child brainwashed, especially at a young age, to think negative things about you. You certainly wouldn't do that to the other parent, or you shouldn't. And the other parent, you know, this is something a narcissist would do. Somebody who's empathic, who wants the best for their child, would never try to hurt their child by making them think ill of their own parent, you know. So, but this is how narcissists act. So the first thing I want to offer you up, because, you know, this is all up to you. I'm just here to open your eyes to possibilities that you might pursue. Is, you know, I'm always about saving money and not going through the legal system. Can you empower, I don't know how old the child is, but can you empower the child to say things like, well, you don't know my mom, so you can't really say that. Or if you knew my mom, you'd know that that's not true. I don't know, that's really an age determinant. You know, if the child is old enough to understand that and feels empowered enough to speak up that way. All right, if not, legal route. So there are different things. Maybe the agreement could be changed to extend to the talking, not only disparaging the mother to her own child, but also to the other child in the household, the girlfriend's child. That could be a remedy. Also, there could be a stipulation that says that other child can't be around when your child is visiting. You know, that's pretty serious. If that child is doing damage that way, if they're coaching her to damage your child, you can ask the court to do that. I'm not saying the court will, but that would be a remedy. And then the extreme is if the child is not safe in that environment, safe from emotional abuse, which is what this is, then a remedy would be to only have, for that parent, the father, to have supervised visitation, which means that you or someone on your team would have to be present whenever that child visited the father. They certainly are not going to want that. So I don't know, if I were doing this, I think, if the child is old enough, I would try to empower the child with some language to talk back to the other child with. But I might communicate with my ex-husband and say, here are the ways that we could handle this situation. I've spoken to some legal experts. I'm not a legal expert, but I would just say that. And there are various remedies that I might pursue, and let him know that this is serious. And the things that we talked about, like perhaps I would ask the court to change our agreement to only allow visitation when the other child is not there, or to have supervised visitation. So, if this doesn't stop, then one of those is going to happen. I'm going to pursue that. So I don't know, that he might see that you're taking this very seriously. I know that he probably doesn't want supervised visitation. So that might be a remedy. All right, so let's move on to the next issue, which comes from someone on social media who wrote in saying, oh gosh, I can really relate to this one. My middle child left his Christmas money there, meaning at the other parent, at the dad's, last weekend, and came home missing $50 of it. All right, so dad helped himself to $50 of his child's Christmas money. What do you do? All right. Two schools of thought. One is, I don't know how old that child is either, but the sooner they get what their parent is about, the sooner they can learn coping mechanisms and how to deal. All right, so sooner or later, you're not going to change dad. If dad's doing this is just part of his personality, right? He would steal money from his child, from his child's Christmas stash. All right, so the sooner the child understands what he's dealing with, the better. So, maybe it's like, oh, that's the kind of thing dad does. And next time, better hold on to your money. Or, as they get older, in personal experience, I've seen where my own children were promised money in exchange for something and then not given it, or money taken from them, like more serious money. So I think it's a lesson better learned earlier rather than later. All right, that's my opinion. Or maybe you could empower him to talk to his dad and go, yeah, so I think there was an extra $50. I bet you are doing something really great with it for me. Like, are you buying something with it for me? Like, I don't know, like, make sure that way he knows dad knows that he knows. Dad knows, he knows, and is confronted, and let him squirm, let him feel shitty if that's possible. Sometimes it's not possible. All right, another idea is, I don't know what your child support situation is, but could you bill him for it? I don't know. Could you put it, I don't know how some people have ledgers of expenses, and that's how you keep track of what is owed to you. So if that's the case, put it on his bill, and then you give the $50 back to your kid when he pays you, right? I don't know. There's an idea. All right. So those are the issues that I chose for this week. I hope they help you. But I wanted to tell you something really important. If you are someone who is just thinking about, I need to leave this toxic marriage, and you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, listen to all this crap that these people are having to deal with when they leave a narcissist. The co-parenting thing, it's like overwhelming. I don't want you to think that you shouldn't get out of a toxic situation because the co-parenting is difficult. First of all, you have a community of people. We've all been through it. We live to tell about it. We live to laugh about it. I mean, it becomes comic at some point, the antics that go on. I mean, yes, sometimes it's at your children's expense. But here's the thing. Kids grow up. They get it. They start seeing. They understand. You have to be the whole parent, the safe parent, the nurturing parent, the loving parent, the compassionate parent, the empathic parent. You have to be the one that they feel safe with. And you can't do that when you are compromised in this toxic relationship you're in. So as hard as it might seem to leave a narcissist or a toxic marriage, and as difficult as it might seem by listening to all this to co-parent with one, I'm here to tell you, you cannot imagine the relief to you and to your children when you get them out of that toxic environment and into a safe home that you can control, that you're not constantly walking on eggshells and waiting for the next drama, the next craziness to unfold, where you're like always on, like walking through landmines, not knowing what is going to happen. That is not a safe environment for kids or for you. And the expression, put your own oxygen mask on first. This is what you have to do. You owe it to your children to take care of yourself so that you can take care of them. And like I said, kids grow up. It's a finite amount of time where you're going to be parenting them together. And yes, there will be graduations and weddings and grandchildren and hopefully whatever. But by then, they will have established some sort of relationship. It will be off, the weight will be off of you. They will figure out how to have a relationship or not have a relationship with that parent, and it won't be up to you. So yes, it is worth it. The sooner you can get healthy, the sooner you can get yourself out of this terrible, 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 no-win, dead end, horrifying, miserable, anguish-filled life, the sooner you can get better, the sooner you can be a better parent, the sooner you can be more of a comfort to your children, the sooner they can see what a safe household feels like and looks like, the sooner they can know what a marriage is supposed to look like so that they have a healthy relationship to model after, or what an unhealthy marriage looks like. Even if you don't remarry, if you draw the line in the sand and say, I'm not accepting this treatment. If you don't do that, then they'll think that that's acceptable. So many reasons why you have to take that leap of faith that you're going to be able to figure this out. And there's support. There is so much support out there. I'm here. There are other places online where you can go. And to that end, I want to tell you that I have this new product called a laser session. I have lots of slots in my calendar. I'll put a link in the post. You can buy a 15-minute slot with me, a laser session where we go one-on-one on the phone, you and me, for 15 minutes, where you come to me with one burning issue, one problem that you're having that you need an answer to or a strategy for, or you need to be talked in off the ledge about something that you're scared about, or an immediate issue facing you or your children or whatever around your toxic marriage or your difficult divorce. One issue that we plunge into to get laser focused, where you come out after those 15 minutes with a plan, with a strategy, with some action steps that you can take right away. All right, so those are in my calendar. You don't have to talk to anyone to book them. You can go right in, pay online, book it, done. And that is a first step. And also it's going to give you a taste of what coaching is like. You might see that this is really something you can benefit from. And then you might pursue a bigger program with me or with another divorce coach or whatever suits you. But it's a great first step to get a taste, all right? Thank you so much for being here. It is my passion to help you get through this very, very difficult situation. And we're all here for you, all right? Thanks, and I'll see you next time.